What's up guys, it's Danica. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Monday the 26th and today is a public holiday. I feel like, am I always making videos on public holidays? There are a lot of public holidays in Hong Kong. So yeah, we have the day off today and I took Friday off also, so this is my 4th day off in a row. I tend to, like, my schedule gets like kind of wonky when I have these long weekends, and so what I try to do is I try to keep my personal training sessions still, like even if I have 5 days off. It's actually okay because like obviously no one is traveling right now, even on long weekends, so just having my personal training sessions on Friday morning, and this morning I got up at like 6 a.m. and got to the gym at 7. It really does help me stay on track. Like on Saturday and Sunday I didn't have personal training and I was totally in long weekend mode, which meant my diet got like a little weird. I was like, oh, I'll have like, you know, I'll go eat out like both days, and I wasn't really paying attention to my macros as much just because I wasn't setting myself up for success in the morning, mostly because I was just, I don't know, I was just like totally just in long weekend mode. Anyway, this morning I had training, then I came back and I showered and I got ready, but I'm like not even really wearing makeup. I'm just wearing like a little mascara and like some tinted moisturizer. And then I went to go do laundry, which I find that because the weather is getting like just slightly cooler here in Hong Kong, I mean, it's still like 75 and sunny out, but because it's gotten slightly cooler, I am wearing more things like hoodies and, you know, a lot more like long pants instead of like shorts and t-shirts on the weekends and stuff like that. So my clothes are, so I just have like, I feel like I have so much more laundry to do now, but I'm still just trying to do laundry once a week because laundry takes so long to do here. And now I am just temporarily living in a space where I don't have a washing machine. I have some news to share, I guess. I decided a few months ago that at the end of 2020, I will be leaving Hong Kong. I haven't made complete solid plans about where to go next. I do have an apartment in New York that I have owned for 15 years, so I'm very lucky, and I feel very lucky to be in a position where I do have a fallback. Not like that's like a fallback. I feel like it's such like, I'm so lucky that like that situation of having an apartment in New York City is my fallback. I'm a New York City kid. I grew up there and my career was always in New York. But I am in this really interesting position now where I also feel very, very lucky that I have an opportunity to continue living abroad, and I haven't exactly decided where I'm going next. So that is something that I guess is TBD, so stay tuned to find out what happens in 2 months when I leave Hong Kong. In the meantime, I have been thinking a lot. Like most weekends, I spend a lot of time just walking around Hong Kong, which is what I've always done on the weekend since I've gotten here. In the beginning, I was doing it to explore Hong Kong, and then when I started on my wellness journey and my weight loss journey, I was doing it to get my steps in on the weekend. And then when like the weather got really bad, or it was too hot, or when there were protests, or when COVID happened and we couldn't really move around too much, I joined a gym, a second gym, because I have my personal training gym, but then I joined like a normal gym so I could use the treadmill on the weekends. And then the gyms closed down during COVID, and then I was walking around parks and stuff on the weekend, really just to hit my steps goal, which would fluctuate anywhere between 10,000 and 13,000. And on some weekends, I would try to hit like 15, 18, 20,000 a day, just to balance out my weekdays of, you know, not taking that many steps during the weekdays. So I have spent a lot of my weekends in the past 2 years walking around Hong Kong. And over the past couple of weekends, I've sort of been doing it pretty aimlessly. In the beginning, I would go out for coffee in the morning and then Google like a cool new place to check out in Hong Kong, or a cool mall to check out, or a theme park to check out, or like a tourist attraction. But over the past couple of years, I feel like I've seen all the big tourist attractions that are like within my like ability to get to. I can't drive and stuff like that, so there's some things that I can't get to. And now I've been thinking a lot about I want to remember Hong Kong after I leave. With travel restrictions now all over the world, I think one of the most poignant and like emo things I think about all the time is before, when I would leave a place, like after college, I lived in Egypt for a year, and I always felt like, what an amazing experience, and I can't wait to come back later and see it with fresh eyes or remember the year I had in Egypt in retrospect. But now travel is not that easy. So the idea of leaving a place that you've been in for a long time feels a lot more wistful and a lot more like I don't know. I feel like I already have a sense of nostalgia for the year and a half so far, the 2 years that I've spent in Hong Kong. And when I leave, I don't know when I'll be able to come back, or I don't know. It makes me think a lot about how I want to remember my time here and how I want to remember the city. So much has happened in the past couple of years while living here. There was social unrest and protests for months and months and months, like almost an entire year. And then I was here when COVID first became a thing here, and we watched it spread from this part of the world all over the world. And that was, I mean, it continues to be a surreal experience. And then politically, a lot has happened here as well. So what an amazing time to have lived in Hong Kong. What a moment in history. So I've been spending my weekends revisiting places that I really like in Hong Kong, and they're not like the flashy tourist places. A lot of these places are sort of just everyday places that I really liked spending afternoons or weekends or mornings, and just trying to hold on to that feeling of what I want to remember about this city. So over the next couple of weeks, or next, not couple of weeks, I'm not leaving in 2 weeks. Over the next few weeks, I will be just taking iPhone footage, I guess, or like webcam footage, or I'm recording this on an Osmo Pocket, but Osmo Pocket footage of the places and the vignettes and the buildings and the scenery and the feeling I want to remember. And there's no footage in the world that can capture the feeling of actually being in a place. And it doesn't matter how hard I try, because you can't capture that feeling. But I think that all of us who spend a lot of time watching videos, and especially YouTube videos about travel, we're all looking to understand a place or person or a vignette or a moment in time. And I hope that when I look back at these videos of my 2 years in Hong Kong, I will remember what I felt like in those moments and what the city feels like in this moment. So yeah, I have no plans today, so I might just go do a little bit of a wander. That's like my favorite kind of day off. So let's go have a wander around the city. Okay, wait, I'm not outside yet, so I'm just wear this. I think, so a few days ago or last week, I've lost track of time, but I think like last week I discovered that across the street, almost-ish, not really, like close to where I'm staying now, there you can take the ferry from the Wan Chai Pier to Tsim Sha Tsui, which is across Victoria Harbour. Since I've been living here, I have really only been taking the ferry from Central near IFC, which is a shopping mall and also like a transportation hub, from there to TST. I used to live on the Kowloon side, so that is across the harbor when I first moved here. So that was my first moving out video. But anyway, so I go back and forth across the harbor all the time because I actually really like the Kowloon side. I find it because there's like more space. The buildings are like, they're obviously tall buildings there, but like it's just like a lot more space to move around. So it's a kind of a different vibe. I kind of like the restaurants over there. I like the shopping. There's just like, it's like more spread out. For some reason, I feel like it gives me like more room to breathe. It's it's very controversial. People like really like take sides on which side of the harbor they prefer. I like both. I live on Hong Kong Island, but I also really like going to Kowloon side. Anyway, so from the Wan Chai Pier last week, I took the ferry, the Star Ferry from Wan Chai to TST for the first time. I know, it's like so lame that it took me so long to figure this out, but that ferry ride is actually so beautiful. The central ferry ride to TST is also beautiful, but this one from Wan Chai, because it goes like diagonally across the harbor, you just see the entire city the entire way. So you get like a full skyline ride. It's actually very, very nice. So I'm gonna do that now, I think. I'm gonna go over to TST, and I thought I would just go walk around K11, which is one of the newest super design beautiful art malls on the TST side. It's right on the harbor too. I haven't been there in a few months, and I think there's some new stores and new restaurants there, so I thought I'd go check it out and I would show you guys around K11 Musea. And it's a beautiful day outside. So I'm also super hungry, but don't let me eat anything that's like not in my macros. So we're gonna go look for healthy, lean proteins and vegetables, and we're gonna go see a beautiful mall, and we're gonna go for a little boat ride today. So yeah, let's go Monday. Something that people may not expect if they've never been to Hong Kong before is that there are escalators like literally everywhere, like outdoors. Like I might like outdoors on an escalator walking to the ferry. Enchanté. It's kind of weird there are not that many more people around. I wonder if everyone's just like in Central because like everyone has today off. Restaurants are open and stuff though, so I don't know, it's pretty empty. They've been doing tons of construction like right by the waterfront, and so it's so interesting that all this change is happening, and I'm obviously leaving before anything is built. In a couple of years, if I come back to Hong Kong, this whole area will be completely different. And obviously like this walkway is like totally temporary. It's gonna be a whole different city in just a couple of years, which is so exciting to watch a city evolve like this. So I am going over there. Where's my finger? I'm going there to get the ferry. And I think there's like restaurants and stuff upstairs too, but I haven't checked those out. Maybe I'll check those out later today. I made it. Pro tip, sit on the left side of the boat when you're going to TST for the best view. We made it to TST. So I'm just gonna walk. The pier is like behind me, behind these buses, and I'm just gonna walk straight over to K11, which is like maybe like a 10-minute walk. It's a beautiful day outside. Look how blue the sky is. There's not that many people out too, which is really nice. On my walk over, I will pass the peninsula, which is where I stayed the very first time I ever came to Hong Kong, and to this day, it's one of my favorite hotels in the world. So let's take a look. This is like the most glamorous YMCA in like the entire world. I have never actually seen it. It's been under construction for like years, but it's right next to the peninsula, which is there. This is K11 Musea, and it opened almost exactly 1 year ago. All of the K11 properties, like all over Asia, are like art and retail spaces, and this one is really, really special. see what's inside of the crystal ball. I've been here like 100 times. So let's see what's inside. I don't know if there's anything inside. I thought there would be a store, but let's see. We're like standing in front of the crystal ball right now. I don't think there's anything inside. Let's see if there's a door. I can't believe I never tried to come inside before, but it's actually kind of cool that we're inside the crystal ball. Outside of K11 is like the promenade on Victoria Harbor. It's very sunny out here. It's beautiful. We came from right there, so that's the construction site that I was filming before. I live right there. I think about how I want to remember Hong Kong, I always think of the water, and I think of Star Ferry, and I think of Victoria Harbor, because this is so beautiful. Okay, apparently there's a cafe at the Off-White in Harbor City, so I wanted to come check it out, and there's actually a cafe in here. It's crazy. It's very weird to me, and also kind of on brand. Alright, that's it. That's it for my TST adventure. The last day in a long weekend. I don't even think there's anyone taking a ferry. It's like so empty, which is really weird. But I didn't know about this line of the ferry until I moved to like really close to that dock. Yeah. Heading back to Wan Chai.